What's up, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla, SPY, and the broader markets. I want to break down what's happening with the overall market moving forward as we saw a bit of a sell-off. What's happening so far looking at the current charts. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link that's down below or use my QR code right here to sign up. If you sign up for Moomoo with the link down below and deposit $100, you're going to get $20 for free Nvidia stock. If you deposit $2,000 or more, you're going to get $50 worth of Nvidia plus a $100 cash reward. Deposits $10,000 or more to get $300 worth of Nvidia plus $100, or deposits $50,000 or more to get $1,000 for free Nvidia stock plus $100. The offer ends very soon, so please use my link down below to sign up. Anyways, NIO's on a bit of a downtrend. Although we did dump today in the morning towards 6.25, we got a nice bounce towards the end of the day. And that's because of some negative news that came out after a Singapore sovereign fund known as GIC filed a major lawsuit against NIO, accusing it of inflating the revenue by over $600 million through deceptive accounting methods related to its battery leasing operations. So that's just an accusation that's coming out. I'm not saying they're right or wrong. We don't know for sure what's, if that's correct, but just keep in mind that there's going to be a legal battle. And if anything, I do believe that NIO is a very honest company with what they disclose, and they should be fine as time goes on. But we'll see what happens with this lawsuit. That is something that's worth talking about. But nonetheless, NIO's sales are growing and their revenue will continue to improve as time goes on. And I do believe NIO will be fine for the long term. It's just that there could be some short term fear as a result. Now, there was some news that came out involving US banks. We ended up seeing them once again. Some of them tumbled, especially the mid sized banks, because of some fears about their loans and the risk of defaults that could be coming. So that is what caused a big bit of a sell-off in the markets, alongside more tensions between the U.S. and China. We had our Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent dangle the possibility of extending a pause on import duties on Chinese goods for longer than 3 months if China halts its plan to, for the strict new export controls on new rare earth materials. This has been some negative news, at least so far. There's been many 90-day truces coming out, but that was what Scott Bessent talked about, despite the fact that we're seeing some news about how they are going to likely decouple with the US and how they're getting a lot of criticism for their acts. Also, we're seeing right here that the US does not want to change its negotiation stance. There's still lots of tension that's arising. Despite that, heading into tomorrow, there's not really much coming out, very, very minor data. So the market's going to just continue to react to what we saw previously. If NIO could break past this 7.13 area, we're looking for a big bounce. But if we hit this resistance and reject again, we could still turn back down. I would give you guys a warning about that because of the fact that we're technically on a downtrend. So I could see us bounce close to $7 then reject. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. So keep that in mind. And in terms of SPY, we are rejecting. We have this clear head and shoulders like pattern favoring 653 or below. On the QQQ, same thing. We have a head and shoulders that could be favoring 586 or below. On the IWM, we have a bearish divergence rejection. We're going to see if we can hold above 245. If not, 241 becomes very possible. ES is also making lower highs. There's going to be a risk of stepping back down to about 6,600 or below. On NQ, we're on a bit of a downtrend. We got another rejection right here, and we could be dipping back down towards 24,400 or below. On Bitcoin, we're on a bit of a downtrend. We could be dipping lower. We also have support at 106,000. We'll see if that holds or not. For Tesla, we're also technically making lower highs. There is a gap to fill down here at 413. So keep that in mind. Nvidia is also on a downtrend. Unless we hold above 184, we're going to be favoring 178 as our potential target. And Aapl is also rejecting, looking for 244 or below. The majority of stocks are still looking bearish. If you look at Coinbase, for example, we're favoring 325. Amazon's also going to be favoring more downside towards 212. Meta is favoring downside back down towards 705, and we're continuing to see Google and Microsoft sell off. The whole market's selling off as a result of the bank fears and the news involving the US and China. And it's also because of seasonality that's kicking in right now. So we still look more bearish unless we get back above 665 on SPY. So please keep that in mind. For NIO, I'm not entirely convinced we're bouncing very hard yet. We did get a slight green day, but we might test $7 and we'll see how it ends up reacting there. Do we touch 7 then reject back down? Do we break past it? We might kind of pop and drop. So be very, very careful. Thank you all so much for listening. This is your quick update, and peace out.